I want to thank everybody for always supporting Thornton Township. We have a lot of great things going on here in Thornton Township. It just set in my heart that there's so many people that is so misled and don't get information the correct way and just follow people just for the sake of following people.
You can go check it out. You can get the ordinances. That way you'll see who is doing what instead of being misled. Because right now, guys, you have been hoodwinked. You've been bamboozled. You've been led astray. You've been all these things, and I'm trying to show you what it is that you're missing.
It's said that people can say whatever and don't have consequences. Say whatever and don't have consequences.
I also want to lay the fact that you must be qualified, meaning be a resident of Thornton Township. Napoleon Harris is not a resident of Thornton Township. Napoleon Harris lives at 1400 in Flossmoor, Illinois.
Hi you guys, welcome back. I know you're probably thinking, what is Michael Smith doing giving out Napoleon Harris's address on national TV? Okay, I'm sure we were all thinking the same thing, but if you guys don't know what this is about Tiffany Henyard, who is the Mayor of Dolton and simultaneously the Supervisor of Thornton Township. They're giving this little press conference because there was a caucus held on the 3rd where Tiffany Henyard got booted from her seat as supervisor and Napoleon Harris took her seat. So Tiffany's crying, foul play, all this other stuff. But this little clip I was showing you guys is from a press conference that Tiffany gave, a little bit after the caucus. So Tiffany's running around panicking, giving press conferences because, she wants her side to be heard because it was unfair for the voters and, all this stuff. She had a lot of people out there to vote for her, but they wouldn't let her in and, whatever. All this crying and carrying on. But what Michael Smith did, also known as Quasi-Michael, okay? You guys know from the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and that name was actually coined from Cooking with Frank. I don't know if you guys ever checked his channel out, but he is hilarious, okay? And he doesn't hold anything back. So shout out Cooking with Frank. You're always guaranteed to get a laugh, okay? And he keeps it real. But let's get back to this whole caucus kick out fallout. Okay, and what's going on with Tiffany Henyard and why she's running around, scrambling around, doing all these press conferences when before she wanted nothing to do with the press. Oh, have the tables turned. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. She liked playing politics and she got a little politics played on her. She's running out there asking for interviews, because she wants her side of the story to be heard because there was an injustice done. All right, an injustice against the voters. Well, you guys, I'm not going to be talking too much during this video, but I will say if you're a returning viewer, please hit that like button. And if you like what you hear so far, go ahead and hit that like button too. Let's move on.
It's said that people can say whatever and don't have consequences about saying anything.
In regards to just a lot of seniors and residents not having that opportunity to be a part, wheelchair residents, amputated legs. I mean, we just had so many people that came out to support, and we weren't given that opportunity to support our supervisor, which I feel disenfranchised the voters of Thornton Township.
All right, guys, thank y'all so much for coming out. I appreciate it. I want to do a relationship moving forward with you guys. I pray that this is the starting point so we can talk, because I know I gave you that interview on the spot when we was outside, so hopefully that it goes up from here.
Translation, thanks for asking only the questions that I want you to, and I hope you come back so I can talk some more than I already do.
I am really for my community. They mad because they can't stop me. They mad because they can't compete with me. That's why they did the smear campaign. But don't worry, because every dog out their day.
Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard is fighting back after Tuesday's caucus booted her off the ballot.
She says the move was a clear act of voter suppression.
Embattled Supervisor Tiffany Henyard is blasting the process that led to her replacement and promising to continue fighting to keep her job.
Put some respect on my name, because I am loved throughout Thornton Township, and that's why I keep going. That's why I have not ever gave up.
Tiffany Henyard, surrounded by about 25 supporters, holding her own rally today to try to salvage an elected position that pays her at least $220,000 a year.
This is our call for justice for voters' rights.
Try to salvage an elected position that pays her at least $220,000 a year.
Is it a call for voters' rights or a call to save her salary? Okay, that's the real question, which I think most of us know the answer to.
Just so y'all understand, we are fighting for voters' rights, which was taken from us on December 3rd.
Tuesday night, Thornton Township Democratic Committeeman, State Senator Napoleon Harris, called a first-ever caucus at the Homewood Auditorium to pick the Democratic candidate for Township Supervisor, a post Henyard has held for the last 3 years. Usually, the Democratic candidate is chosen in a primary election. As Henyard shouted objections to the proceeding, a voice vote of township residents nominated Harris as the Democratic candidate, meaning Henyard will now only be able to run as a write-in candidate. She says her supporters were shut out of the caucus.
Hundreds of eligible voters, including seniors, local mayors, local aldermen, local state senators, and local state representatives, were locked out of the venue and forced to stand in freezing temperatures.
Meanwhile, back in Dolton, it was a common practice for Tiffany Henyard to have people waiting outside of Village Hall for the Dolton board meetings, and this was something that a fellow YouTuber, Cafe of Knowledge, also pointed out. Shout out to her, she's an awesome channel. She goes really in depth with these things as well. So this is a live stream done by former trustee Ed Steve outside of the meeting, and as we can see, some of the commenters in the live stream are voicing their displeasure about Tiffany Henyard always being late to the meetings, and also about having the residents wait outside. One commenter wrote, "You know she has to change her hair and get her makeup done." Another person wrote, "Wow, are they still making people stand outside in this heat?" And someone else said, "Why aren't they letting people in?" And then someone else wrote, "Why can't the meeting start on time?" Well, that's a good question, because you see, Tiffany Henyard is always late to the meetings. She has everyone waiting on her, sometimes hours on end, okay? So that brings me to what happened at this caucus. Because you see, Tiffany was too busy doing an interview for a news station, you know, getting all glammed up and stuff, so she can sit down and do what she does best and talk, okay? And then she was late to the caucus. Well, she's saying she wasn't late, but if it was something that I thought was important, and obviously I'm sure she thinks money is important, right? I would have been there. Maybe I probably would have brought a sleeping bag there or something. I would have been nice and comfortable making sure that I was there, okay? I would have made sure that no one had the opportunity to do something sly. But, you know, like I said before in a previous video, she just can't help herself, okay? She don't know how to sit down. She don't know how to be quiet. She just loves to be in the light, so much that she was blinded by the light, okay? Blinded by the light. But yeah, she was blinded and she wasn't able to see what was going on, and she got Paula tricked. And so far they're saying that it was legal. So let's move on with this video, because I know I said I wasn't going to talk a lot, you guys, but you know how it is sometimes talking about Tiffany Henyard, especially right now. There's a lot going on.
But now when I bring the people out, you don't let them in? Make that make sense. It should have been a primary. It always has been in the history of Thornton Township. Always 10,000 residents come and vote for township government.
Why do you think it changed?
Because they can't beat me. If they could beat me, they would have went to the polls.
There are perception issues with it that are right to get attention. Will the court look at those perception issues? Probably not, but the voters certainly should.
Bill Cadigan is a former state board of elections chairman who says the caucus system is legal in Illinois, as is holding multiple elected positions. The two South suburban governments Henyard runs have been in chaos since soon after WGN Investigates began reporting on her spending and abrasive leadership style. She and her entourage racked up more than $100,000 in travel, meals, and more. Her namesake cancer charity was shut down for failing to report how it spends money. Even after the FBI served subpoenas in April, the spending continued. One sparsely attended event cost taxpayers more than $85,000. Before last night's defeat, Henyard vowed not to be deterred.
The show will go on.
Her team says they're asking the state's attorney and Illinois Attorney General to investigate the legality of last night's raucous caucus.
Okay, now she wants an investigation? Let's see what happened when Dolton trustees called for an investigation into her spending of the taxpayer dollars.
Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dolton, Illinois, is struggling to silence growing calls for an investigation into how she spends public money.
So with that being said, I'm going to go into this veto message.
During a tense board meeting Monday, Henyard vetoed a measure calling for an outside investigation into her alleged misuse of public funds.
Calling for an investigation of Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
This after the village board late last month called for the FBI, the U.S. Attorney, and the Cook County Sheriff to investigate the village's finances, which trustees say the mayor is keeping under wraps while spending lavishly.
We cannot continue to stand for millions of dollars being wasted on trips and things that do not benefit the community.
Yana Belcher is one trustee calling for that investigation.
What is it that you all say she's spending public money on?
We have not received a financial report since September of 2023.
She alleges that last year the mayor racked up $1 million in police overtime for her own personal detail.
A weekend, possibly $27,000 to $30,000.
$27,000 to $30,000 for a weekend.
For the weekend.
She also says the mayor spent $1.3 million.
We have love on ice today.
Building this ice rink.
Nobody can go over there unless she's having an event.
And we want to know where our money is at. We're tired of you just spending our money any type of way that you want to. It's not fair. It needs to go across the board. We didn't want that $1 million ice rink that none of the citizens can even take part of. The only time it's open is when you giving a function.
Meanwhile, Belcher says vendors contracted by the village say they're not getting paid.
The banners or the billboards with her face on them, is that person not getting paid?
No, the person is not getting paid.
No, we have not received any payment for the banners or the brackets.
How much is still owed?
The total is $19,899.60 with the freight.
North Carolina-based Mosca Design tells NBC5 the village owes them for the banners and holiday decorations.
It's very frustrating. This was something that we did just based on her call and being so excited. And just took her word for it and the signed documents.
A majority of trustees sent us this statement that says Mayor Henyard's continued practice of engaging vendors without authority or board approval is deeply concerning. This disregard for proper protocol serves only to promote her personal agenda while unfairly burdening taxpayers with the costs.
Let us pick them up and wipe the slate clean because the community has so many other things they need to really work on.
Mosca Design says it is hopeful that the invoice will be paid by the end of the year.
And just took her word for it and the signed documents. And just took her word for it.
It was 122 banners for $19,900 some.
NBC News has reached out to Mayor Henyard, who, according to NBC Chicago, also works as township supervisor for a neighboring community, making a total salary of close to $300,000 a year. So far, we've received no response. On Monday, the mayor alleged it's trustees and other officials who are doing the spending.
I didn't have no access to any bank account to make any decisions in our village. It was all up to them.
Meanwhile, at last check, Belcher says this village of 21,000 was $7 million in debt. She suspects that number has grown.
But I'm going to point it out and I'm going to let you know all the people behind all the mess and all the people that have been stealing at this township since day one. But they mad because they not here no longer. So this is what it's all about, guys. They don't want a black person in power. They don't want a woman in power.
There is no excuse that we shouldn't have that information available to people so that they can review it in advance and come to a forum like this prepared. And that's just a reflection. It's not because you're a black woman. That's my world. I grew up, I was one of the only people in IT in a white world. I got picked on, I was a single black mom, all those things. It's not about that. It's being accountable. It's being accountable for the role that, and you guys are doing a great job, but you're paid to do a great job. You're doing your job. At those salaries, I wouldn't expect anything less. Not at all. I looked at the report. I wouldn't expect anything less. If you were doing less, I would say, what are you doing with the money? So, again, this is not attacking you as a black woman. I've always been held accountable for my performance, my results, and I expect the same of you. That's it, that's all.
Thank you.
Thanks, ma'am. And when I became your mayor, again, the first African-American female mayor here in the village of Dolton, making history. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Y'all black. Y'all are black.
Henyard can run as a write-in candidate for township supervisor, but remember, she's also facing a big challenge to stay on as the mayor of Dolton.
And Tuesday night's caucus left the current supervisor, Tiffany Henyard, fuming.
You didn't run none of this the right way. Illegal. Napoleon.
That's Henyard pleading her case to committeeman State Senator Napoleon Harris. As a committeeman, Harris set the rules Tuesday night, the first caucus in Thornton Township in nearly 30 years.
Illegal! Illegal!
So she wants to talk about things being illegal. Allow me to oblige, because this is something that YouTuber Cafe of Knowledge also brought up, and that's her using Thornton Township shuttle buses to bring people in to vote for her. Yes, using township resources to help her campaign.
So let's talk about it. I mean, your concern is you brought people in to free bus.
All the people outside, they ain't letting not one person in.
Henyard used Thornton Township buses to transport supporters, mostly seniors, yet many of the supporters did not get inside the packed auditorium of 600 people. Henyard used Thornton Township buses to transport supporters, mostly seniors.
This is illegal.
This is illegal in your opinion?
Illegal. Somebody going to jail, just so you clear on that. I will be suing everybody tomorrow. This is illegal. I am pressing charges on the clerk, on Trustee House, Trustee Norwood, Trustee Belcher, and Trustee Tammy Brown. I'm pressing charges on everybody.
We were all standing out there. No one was going in. It was past 6:30. We still could not get in.
She came late, and then she had an attitude because they couldn't get in.
I think it's very unfair that I don't get a chance to make the decision of who I want where.
And who did you want to vote for?
I wanted to vote for Tiffany.
Okay, you guys, so next we're going to look at one of Tiffany Henyard's latest Facebook rants, okay? Just a little bit of it. And then we're going to talk about what she says in this live Facebook rant.
I need your support. I need you to come out this evening. They have a special, I call it Secret Squirrel election today on Tuesday at about 7 p.m. A lot of people don't know about it. That's why I'm doing this live this evening, so that you know about it and you can make sure you're in the building.
And this is just a little bit before the caucus. So once again, she's somewhere online running her mouth instead of being where she's supposed to be.
Also, I want you to understand all the mess that's been going on here at Thornton Township. What you don't know is I put on the agenda several different times to give you residents a property tax refund. Property tax refund. You know we got surplus over here at Thornton Township. I've been saying this since day one. We got over $4.2 million in the GA fund. In the GA fund. I am giving away $2.2 million to all residents throughout Thornton Townships that are homeowners.
So you guys, a couple of things, and this is kind of where Tiffany Henyard sabotaged herself. Okay, as we can see, she was here live on Facebook at 2:03 p.m. Okay, we're running her mouth. And then she went to do an interview after that, and no telling how long that took. And then she made her little butt to the caucus. So I guess getting to the caucus was like the last on her list, which once again, like I said before, if it's something that was so important to her, that should have been at the top of her list. She should have been there. She could have been streaming live on Facebook from the caucus. Like I said, the child gets in her own way, okay? But another thing I also wanted to point out, so we heard her talk about the 100% tax refund, whatever, extravaganza, right? But there's a commenter on her page who said this: "Wake up, people. She's only giving you a tax refund because it's election year. We also know that you're only going to end up getting about $20 for family, because once you split that money between everybody, you're not going to get much." And this is so true, because what Tiffany is saying, that she's giving out $2.2 million to all homeowners, okay? So with that information, I wanted to know how many homeowners are actually in Thornton Township. So since we do live in the age of Google, I went ahead and looked up the census reporter. All right, and I was able to figure out that there are 65,744 number of housing units in the township. And of those, owner-occupied are 63%. And so according to my calculations, there are 41,418 homeowners in Thornton Township. So the next, I divided that 2.2 million by the 41,418 homeowners and came up with a whopping $53 per household. Yes, that's how much they'll be getting, and she's advertising it like it's going to be this 100% tax refund extravaganza. Okay. The crazy thing about this is that the former supervisor, Frank Zuccarelli, also did this. The difference in him doing it is that he didn't use it as a campaign pitch, okay? He just posted it online, let the residents know, hey, this is what you're gonna get. It's not gonna be much. It's gonna be about $50 per household, but at least it's something, and we decided to go ahead and give it back to you. But once again, Tiffany Henyard uses everything, the town's resources, the food bank, everything as a campaign pitch.
If you are a homeowner in Thornton Township, you will be getting a tax refund. It's the first of its kind. It's 100% property tax historic refund.
So you guys, I can't with the lies that just spew out her mouth. She does it so effortlessly, okay? There is no way she's giving 100% tax refund to homeowners. Why is she sitting up here lying? I just broke it down what she's going to be giving. So why is she using this word 100% tax refund? Why? Is there something about tax language and jargon that I don't understand? Because, I was not a math whiz in school. So maybe there's something I'm missing. Let me know down in the comments if you guys see it differently and if she's actually saying it correctly. But from what I'm hearing, she's saying 100%, meaning you're going to get all your property taxes that you paid back. That's what I get from it. I mean, with Google and things to help me out, the tools to help me out, and a little bit of research, I'm not coming up with people getting 100% back unless she's talking about some type of property tax relief exemption, because there are those depending on how old you are, if you're a veteran, but she's not saying anything to that nature or what you need to do to qualify for anything like that. So anyways, you guys, I'm over it. I'm over her and all this right here. But the last thing I did want to show is an example of Tiffany Henyard's hypocrisy. Now, usually I go back in time and, I compare it to her being a trustee and compare that to her being a mayor and how she acted differently as a trustee. But we don't have to go that far back because she just literally did this. All right. So while she's on TV whining and crying about, oh, this is the biggest example of voter suppression I've seen in forever, at the same time, she sent one of her goons, DeMarcus Quigley, over there to Dolton to file an objection against someone who's running against her for mayor.
Embattled Mayor Tiffany Henyard is running for re-election. An associate of hers filed an objection to disqualify Cassandra Hobson Jordan, a mayoral candidate, and Anisha Lee Harrison, a trustee candidate from the ballot. The two are running under the Rebuilding Dolton party banner, I should say. The objection claims the party doesn't meet Illinois election code by having a full slate of candidates. However, attorneys say that law was struck down in 2017.
It's about democracy because Mayor Henyard is trying to prevent an opponent from being on the ballot and giving the voters a choice. It's about hypocrisy because just the other night on Tuesday at the Thornton Township Democratic Caucus, she was making a big fuss, threatening to go to court over the fact that she was not able to be considered at the caucus because she didn't have a full slate.
My name is Cassandra Hobson Jordan, and for those of you that don't know, some of you might have seen on my page, or some of you know me personally, know that I am running for the mayor of Dolton. So one of the projects that I have been working on is producing thank you cards for every person that signed my petition. So for the past month, I have been sitting down and personally handwriting out thank you cards. It has given me the opportunity, and it has also given the residents an opportunity to actually meet me up close and personal. A lot of times these politicians, you really don't hear from them or you don't see them until it is election time. You all need to realize that when you take these seats, it's not about the residents coming to meetings, because All the times people can't make these meetings. They're tired of all the arguing and fighting at the meetings. Some say, I would want to come to the meeting, but because they argue, they fight, they're cussing, they're fussing. It's the same group of people raising all kind of hell, and people just don't want to be a part of that. So you guys, it's something for you all to think about. Don't take it for granted that because you fight in this fight that people are going to vote for you and put you in this seat. I got news for you. They don't want you either.
Well, you guys, that's going to be it for today. Once again, if you enjoyed the video, please remember to leave it a like. And if you're new here, subscribe.
We have a serious problem with animals being on the loose, and it's being vicious dogs and pit bulls. I am a woman, but guess what? I'm a pit in a skirt. We have had several attacks in our village. Understand that when I say that. And I'm not going to take no mess from nobody. I mean that. So y'all better become a little harder than that. And a dog attacked a man, and a neighbor had to run out and get that dog off of that individual. So I'm just giving you examples of loose dogs, mainly pits.